Najee watches it sail over his head into the end zone. JMU out to the 25 in our first possession of this Saturday afternoon. Jordan McLeod is going to make his first career start as JMU's quarterback. Started his career, Roddy, at South Florida. 3 years in Tampa before moving over to the Pac-12 at Arizona. Dealt with injuries for 2 seasons in Tucson. And now he will make his first start for the Dukes out of the Sun Belt. And, of course, his brother Ray McLeod, a former Clemson standout, currently in the NFL with the San Francisco 49ers.
Jordan McLeod didn't start last game, but came in for the last 4 drives. 2 touchdown passes in his time last week.
Kalon Black, the running back, went off last week in the win against Bucknell. He goes down for a loss of 1 yard here on his first touch. Cam Butler, Cohen Keene crashed the pocket at 2nd and long.
This is a Virginia defense that was very stout a year ago and did a really nice job early on against Tennessee last week. Expect them to try and stop the run first and foremost, make Jordan McLeod beat you with his arm.
McLeod with a clean pocket delivers a strike across the 30, and a 7-yard gain makes it 3rd and manageable. Tajee Hudson the grab. Sam Westphal with the stop from his left cornerback position.
It was a slow start for Jordan McLeod a week ago, Roy. Started 2 for 5, but hit 5 of his last 6. 2 touchdowns in that mix. Throws a really nice deep ball. Question for me is when you get outside the hashes, can he drive the football to complete passes out wide?
Cavs show pressure. James Jackson off the edge, he'll retreat. And McLeod's got to go. It's Reggie Brown in motion. The crosser is there. They'll stop this play before it starts.
Before the snap, timeout was called by JMU. The first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
A timeout as Kurt Cignetti looks on, head coach of the JMU Dukes. They're completing their transition into the FBS after a successful run in the old Division I AA, winning a national championship in 2004. Another title, the FCS in 2016, and now a member of the Sun Belt Conference year 2, not bowl eligible. They were picked to win the Sun Belt East. This is a team that's got some pretty strong DNA when it comes to football. Well,
they were coach champs with Coastal Carolina last year in the Sun Belt East. They beat Coastal last year. So this is a team that has not taken any time to acclimate to the FBS level. That's a tough timeout, Roy, on the 3rd play of the game. You got to make it worth it by converting.
Black, the running back, on 3rd down and 4. McLeod wants to take off. Spins his way free for a first down and a lot more. Ahead to the 46. And a gain of 15 yards on the ground, Roddy, on 3rd and 4.
And Virginia anticipated it. They dropped number 2, Stevie Bracey, into the middle of the field, almost like a spy, but it's good blocking, a missed tackle by the defensive line, and Jordan McLeod ends up converting. Virginia felt like Virginia knew what was coming, still not able to stop it.
These two programs separated by just 58 miles, so JMU and its fan base very well represented. James Jackson, the TFL, Kalon Black, the running back, and he lost 3 there.
The strength of this Virginia defense is that defensive front, Roy. Really experienced up front with guys like Jameer Carter, Aaron Falmouy. And James Jackson has played a lot of football for this crew. This front 7, very experienced, very stout.
Zach Horton in motion from his H-back position. And the screen pass to Phoenix Sproles. With blockers and a first down. Into Virginia territory. He'll rumble his way for 16.
Really nice job of blocking on the perimeter by the wide receivers of JMU. Springs Phoenix Sproles. A lot of numbers in the box for Virginia. 2 blockers for 2 defenders. You've got Cam Butler pursuing from the inside, but the blocks by Tajee Hudson and Zach Horton, too much.
Latrell Palmer in at running back. McLeod, the pump fake, he'll go the other way, wide open, a big gainer for JMU. Into the red zone is Hudson. First down and goal for the Dukes. 32 yards on that one.
It's double moves on both sides, and Jordan McLeod does an excellent job of looking to the field to move the safety, but the double move absolutely toasts Sam Westfall at corner. Really nice job by Taji Hudson. Really nice job by the quarterback, moving the safety and then throwing it deep to the boundary side.
Sproles in motion again. Palmer straight ahead, this time shifting towards his right. It'll be second goal after a short gain.
Like the way that this has started to develop for JMU. Their offensive coordinator, Mike Shanahan, not that Mike Shanahan, but Mike Shanahan has done a nice job of mixing up the run on the inside. He's gotten the quarterback legs involved on third down, and then the double move to create an explosive play. But Jordan McLeod's legs are huge here inside the 10.
Yeah, we're not able to talk with him this week, according to head coach Curt Cignetti. But a nice variety of different plays so far. Palmer inside the 5 and tripped up there. A gain of 4. Herard brought him down, and just like that, it's third and goal.
Tell you what, Zach Horton, number 44, did a really nice job of a lead block. And to be honest, you're either going something downhill against this Virginia interior. I think I would get Jordan McLeod out on the perimeter. Give him an option to dump it out or use his legs to run it in.
Hudson in motion. The backwards pass is there. He wants to throw it. That's a JMU touchdown. Hudson to Sproles. 6-0 Dukes. Second catch on that drive for Sproles. That one on third and goal meant everything.
Certainly did. You dial up the trickery. The backwards pass to Hudson sucks up the Virginia defense. And then he delivers to the end zone to Phoenix Sproles. And Roy, go back to the third play of the game. They call that timeout to get the right play, convert, and then eventually put the ball in the end zone.
Camden Wise on for the point after. How impressive was JMU and Jordan McLeod making his first start for the Dukes in the Sun Belt? He got it done on that drive.
He certainly did. Well, the motion takes all the attention to Taji Hudson in the backfield. Goes in orbit motion and then twirls back out. And when he does that, you're going to see all the eyes of the defenders on Taji Hudson. They can't tell if it's a backwards pass or not. Phoenix Sproles just wide open in the back of the end zone. Nice job of the hesitation. Great job of dialing up a play that's going to take advantage of the aggressiveness on the outside by this Virginia defense.
Hudson, the transfer from ECU, East Carolina, a former high school quarterback, and he used all those skills there.
Well, he didn't need the accuracy skills necessarily. He was wide open.
You could have made that toss.
Oh, absolutely. Come on, man.
Did you ever throw a pass at Tech?
There were 3 of them called. They never threw one because they were always covered, Roy. That was the thing.
So you made a wise decision there.
Exactly. Tuck it and run. Tuck it and run.
75 yards in 9 plays. Sproles catches the TD, his first of the season, in a season where he's got a lot of expectations. Transfer from North Dakota State in the Bison. And for Curt Cignetti, I don't know that he could have scripted a better start on the road. And again, 2 programs separated by less than 60 miles. JMU feels like they have something to prove today.
This is one of those games where in the JMU locker room you look around and say, how many of you guys were offered by the state school down the street, and nobody raises their hand, and that's all the motivation you need. Hot start here on the road.
Malik Washington back deep to receive this kick from Connor Madden. Connor started his career at Division III Bridgewater College here in the Commonwealth. And Washington with plenty of speed. Fast start for the Dukes after a bit of a slow start last week against Bucknell. Madden hits a low line driver. Comes Washington. Chop down crossing the 20. Cavs will get it there. And Tony Muskett, who got the start last week against Tennessee, will not make the start this afternoon. And we go back to the fourth quarter late in Nashville. Tough injury to the non-throwing shoulder.
Yeah, he's just driven into the turf. Comes up favoring that non-throwing shoulder. We were told he was making great progress during the week, but they made the decision yesterday not to have him go just because of them thinking that he can't protect himself out there. So it's going to be Anthony Colandrea, the freshman, making his first start.
Enrolled in January from St. Petersburg, Florida. Roddy, we were told he's going to make some plays today. Some good, maybe some not so good due to the inexperience. He's got some wheels. There goes Paris Jones on the first play from scrimmage. Shoved out at the 1. Chauncey Logan prevented the touchdown. We'll see where they spot it.
Did he get in is the question.
Malachi Fields called for holding.
My goodness, what a start for Virginia, negated by a hold. I would not want to be the official that threw that flag. And this is a charged up environment.
And negates a 76-yard gain, Roddy.
Malachi Fields out there at receiver.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely a grab of the jersey. I'm not sure that it was a hold to the level right then in that moment to be called, because he's already got him driven out. It's not like the cornerback was going to get off and make the tackle. I mean, you call a hold when you see it, but that's a tough one.
Mike Hollins, the running back, he gets a carry straight ahead and a positive gain to the 20. Kamara brought him down after a gain of 5. Now Mike Hollins doesn't view himself as a hero, but he went back on the bus on that tragic day to try to save his teammates, his friends, his brothers, and was shot, was in the hospital for a long period of time, and he's back playing football in 2023. Jones will try right tackle. Gain of 2, and that's it. We mentioned Colandrea making his first career start. 35-4 in high school back at Lakewood in St. Petersburg. Through 60 career touchdowns. He's a dual threat, Roddy.
Yeah, he can run it. And the coach has told us, very comfortable throwing the ball downfield outside the numbers, something that they really want to do off of play action, but he's got a 3rd and long here.
Harrison lines up in the slot on 3rd down. Colandrea steps forward. The pump fake and a penalty marker flies. He dives out short of the line to gain. We'll check the infraction.
Holding, offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Brian Stevens at right guard. That was a 9-yard gain. It would have been 4th and 2.
Yeah, it's interesting that Kurt Cignetti would decide to back them up and make them play it again. Brian Stevens on the right side of your screen.
Roddy, you like the awareness of Colandrea to escape and at least try to extend that play, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's what he does. I will say that these holding calls are, I mean, it's very strict today based on the 2 that we've seen so far.
I would agree. 3rd down and a problem with the exchange. Colandrea dives on it. Virginia forced to punt.
Virginia had a lot of struggle snapping the football out of shotgun last week. Ty Furnish has done a really good job in the run blocking, but snaps have been an issue. Counted 5 bad snaps a week ago. The initial third down snap was a little low, and then that one really low. So Curt Cignetti, again, it pays off. He accepts the penalty, moves Virginia back. You get a bad snap. Now they're punting from the shadow of their own end zone.
Daniel Sparks, one of the top punters in America, standing deep in his own end zone. Preseason first team all ACC. And the punt was blocked, and JMU recovers. A touchdown for the Dukes.
Just complete and total disaster for Virginia. The punt takes a little long to get off. You're taught to one step it out of the end zone typically. But the pressure from the outside, great job sticking that hand right on the foot of the punter to block it. And what a dream start for the Dukes.
Angelo Pons with the recovery for head coach Curt Cignetti. And special teams flexing for JMU. Punt block, Aiden Fisher, the sophomore linebacker from Fredericksburg, VA, with the punt block. D'Angelo Pons, the recovery for the Dukes touchdown.
Well, the wall back in front of the punter creates a short edge. Fisher does a great job just putting his hand right on the foot of the punter, blocking it.
Paris Jones, the fair catch. And now, if you're Virginia, you nearly scored a touchdown on your first play from scrimmage in your first home game since last November. Then you're forced to punt. Then the punt is blocked, and all of a sudden you're trailing by 2 scores. What do? You
just got to steady yourself, Roy. They've had success. I mean, getting on the edge on that first play, but then they were behind the chains. This is not a Virginia offense that can live there. You just need something positive to happen here.
Jones took it 76 yards. The play was negated due to a holding call on a receiver. Harrison around the left side as we check in with Taylor.
Well, one of the things that Virginia could use right now is perhaps a play from one of their receivers on the perimeter. Well, Malik Washington spending time in the 10. He came out pointing to his left ankle. He's been running routes here on the sideline. We'll see if he goes back in.
Jones gets a first down, a 7-yard pickup.
And this is going to be big for Virginia today. Freshman quarterback starting, emotions running wild. Running the football is going to be paramount, especially running the football on first and second downs, Roy. Because if you get into a third and medium to short, that's where Anthony Colandrea's legs can be a great equalizer, like we saw with JMU and Jordan McLeod.
Washington in that reception streak in motion. Colandrea looks his way. Washington breaks free into JMU territory. Malik Washington makes a man miss. How about a touchdown for UVA? Bedridge on for the point after. And our new score, just over 6 minutes to play, 14-7.
Roy, this is a Virginia program that has been defined by resilience. You get hit early, down 14. What do? You dial up a little wheel.
Philpott, Malik Washington with the honors moments ago. The first touchdown for Virginia at Scott Stadium in 2023. And a transfer from Northwestern, Georgia native, racing for the 63-yard score and shaking several JMU defenders out of their cleats in the process. Big plays galore to start this one, and we go back to to Malik Washington in the wheel route, which was run to perfection.
It was tremendous. And look, Roy, the motion creates a matchup for Virginia. They get Malik Washington on the safety, Jacob Thomas, and he's going to go to the flat first. Thomas on that flat route gets caught looking in the backfield, and when Washington turns up the field, he leaves Jacob Thomas in the dust. It's the eye violation that creates it, though. You've got a freshman quarterback. You're thinking, oh, he's going to toss it out to the flat. Nope, up the sideline. Oh, excellently delivered ball by Colandrea. Malachi Fields blocking down the field. Make a man miss, get in the end zone, 6 points. And look, Roy, Virginia's been able to hit big plays today. Even the Paris Jones run was a big play before being negated by the holding. So I think Des Kitchings has to be really happy with how his offense has started being able to create those big plays.
Last season, Virginia's longest pass play was 64 yards. Already 63 in the books here in game number 2. As McLeod's back on the field, he wants to go long. And it's caught! Reggie Brown, the deep threat, into Virginia territory, and he toasted Tavon Kyle for 40.
Kyle, the transfer from Iowa State, ends up being nickel on a slot receiver. It's just a slot fade, and this is what Jordan McLeod did so well a week ago, throwing the deep ball to perfection, this time to Reggie Brown.
Brown 3 catches, 77 yards last week in the win against Bucknell. Different story today, but he is going to be leaned on for big plays galore all year long in the Sun Belt. There goes Kalon Black. He's stopped by Sanker after a 7-yard gain.
Roy, some of the experts thought that this would be a very low-scoring game. Points hard to come by, big plays.
I think you and I both thought that.
That's what I was referencing when I said some of the experts.
I don't know that I'm an expert now.
Me either. Should have seen my picks week 1. It was brutal.
Speaking of picks, who you got tonight? Texas, Alabama.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot. Give me Bama. They're at home.
Left side on second and short. Upended near the line to gain. And Dollison stopped right at the sticks. They're going to give him the first down. The transfer from South Florida came with Jordan McLeod. And a roundabout way after the brief stop in Tucson, and JMU on the move again. Experts.
The ones in the desert are usually pretty good, but I may have gotten this one wrong.
Palmer back in and running back on first down. From the 25, McLeod heaves one end zone. Overshot Phoenix Sproles, and the deep ball falls incomplete by a wide margin.
It's one of those, you just got to put it on the receiver. He doesn't have to hit him in stride. You just have to get it in the area code. The one place he can't catch the ball is out of bounds. And you see what happens. The safety doesn't pick up the wheel route. A little pressure in his face, but just loft it up, give your receiver a chance.
Good start from McLeod, however, 4 of 5 for 95 yards. And again to Sproles. Virginia ready and waiting. Going to lose a yard. Tavon Kyle, Dave Herard combined to bring him down quickly.
Tavon Kyle does a great job of beating the block of Zach Orton, number 44, the tight end out there blocking. And now it creates the first 3rd and long that we've seen for James Madison. 23, Tavon Kyle, the first one there.
It's Loud on 3rd down. McLeod will try to get to the edge. Off the pump fake. Stop short. Ushered out near the 20 by Herard again. 7-yard pickup on 3rd and 12.
Really nice discipline by the Virginia defense. Reading the tunnel screen. Being all over that. Forcing Jordan McLeod to scramble. And a field goal attempt by Camden Wise coming up next.
Camden Wise on the field. Made his only attempt last week against Bucknell. This attempt from 38. Inside the left hash on the way. And Wise connects. JMU extends its lead to 17-7. 3 minutes and change remaining in a fast-moving first quarter in Charlottesville, Texas. The rematch, a 1-point affair last year in Austin. 7 o'clock primetime ESPN, the place to be, Roddy Jones. And we'll see if Steve Sarkisian has something in store for one of his mentors and head coach Nick Saban as he makes his return to Tuscaloosa.
You know, man, I was really impressed by Jalen Milroe a week ago. And that offensive line didn't play great. They played well. They didn't play great, so I expect them to dominate.
Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. That battle in T-Town, 3 versus 11. Clemson, of course, ousted by Duke on Monday night. They're down at number 25 now. Here comes UW, here comes Tennessee, and Notre Dame rounding out the top 10 with defending national champion Georgia still at the very top. Virginia gets it back in a first quarter that has seen a little bit of everything. Kobe Pace will pick up 3 on first down. We've seen a wide receiver throw a touchdown pass. We've seen a 76-yard run negated by a holding penalty. We've seen a block punt for a touchdown and a 63-yard touchdown strike for Anthony Colandrea, his first touchdown of his young career to Malik Washington. Big plays for both sides. 2nd and 7. Pace around the left edge. It'll be 3rd down.
Roy, we know there were a lot of emotions coming into this game. The message on the sideline is let's settle in. Everyone just focused on doing your job to the best of your ability. That's all we can control right now.
It's ultimately what football is all about. In any big environment, the initial surge that happens from either team, you just got to withstand that. And then as the game settles in, you focus on doing the little things. Another 3rd and long for Virginia here. Watch Anthony Colandrea's legs.
Colandrea. Malachi Fields, a couple of big plays last week in the loss against Tennessee. He'll shove the pile across the 40 to move the chains for UVA. Give him 14.
The ability to drive the ball over the middle, something that Tony Muskett did really well last week. Anthony Colandrea does a great job there. How about the protection by the offensive line? And Malachi Fields is a player. They felt like his injury last year really stunted them offensively. He came back in that last game against Pitt and was tremendous. He is a really talented wideout at 6'4".
Fields, number 8 in orange, was hurt before the start of preseason camp a year ago. Great job last week in the loss to the Vols. 4-yard gain as Paris Jones bolts straight ahead. Jalen Walker brought him down, chopped him down quickly as we approach rather a minute to play in our first quarter. Harrison in motion. Jones, the deep handoff, driven down. Kamara. Another tackle for loss, and Paris Jones is going to lose 4.
Timeout, number 3 defense. Helmet came off. He will lead the game for 1 play.
This is the danger of that outside zone play. You can have penetration. And Kamara just jumps inside of Blake Steen, the left tackle. Makes the big tackle there. It'd be interesting if you can get it to a 4th and short if Virginia decides to go for it or not, but they got to protect Anthony Colandrea again.
3rd stop for Mikhail Kamara. On 3rd down, Colandrea tries to step ahead. He did not. The ball comes out. Penalty marker flies. Jalen Green with a sack.
Holding offense, number 71. Penalty decline. 4th down.
Transfer from Houston, Ugana Nana.
That was a big area of struggle for Virginia a week ago. Protection, especially on that right side from the tackle position. Ugana Nana moved to tackle very recently, only a few practices under his belt before that Tennessee game, and Jalen Green does a great job of using his hands to get around the corner, create the fumble on a 3rd and long.
3rd offensive holding call against Virginia in this first quarter, and those penalties have been enormous. Cheese Surratt back deep to receive another punt from Daniel Sparks. He'd love to get it off this time. And the Cavaliers could elect to allow the first quarter clock to run out. And they will. An emotional afternoon in Charlottesville, Virginia, here at Scott Stadium. Big plays galore.
Of action, block that punt, big play, respond with a field goal. So we got to play better defense right now.
Thank you, Coach. Roy?
Taylor, his team leading on the road 17-7. Roddy Jones, Roy Philpott here in the booth. Sparks gets it away cleanly this time. And a JMU hop out of bounds near the 30. Jordan McLeod start his first start as a member of the Dukes program. Stops at Arizona and South Florida. What have you seen from him so far?
He's done a nice job. He's completed the passes that they've asked him to. He's managed everything. He scrambled for a third down, missed a play that probably cost him a touchdown on the last drive. But all in all, it's a much different feel than last week. Last week they could not throw the ball until he entered the game late in that game, the last 4 drives. This week, as you see, 5 of 6 on the day.
Lonzo Barnett, the third, got the start a week ago. It's just 3 of 11 passing. Kalon Black will lose a yard. Chico Bennett, great to see Chico on the field. We wondered about his injury suffered against Tennessee. Would 15 in orange be out there? And the answer is yes, he is.
Yeah, it's a guy that they really missed last week against Tennessee. Second in the ACC in sacks last year, and a real leader on this Virginia team.
Transfer from Georgia Tech missed last week. Hudson moves in motion on 2nd and long. McLeod's going to buy some time. Hudson again, it's been his favorite target. Stopped at the original line of scrimmage, a 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and long.
Just a little mesh action. And another 3rd and long. Question for Virginia. Can you get off the field here? They struggled to get off the field on 3rd downs with the exception of that last drive where they did get a 3rd and long and they were able to force a field goal.
Dukes 2 of 3 in the 3rd down department. McLeod with time. That's a first down for JMU. The ball may have popped out late, and we'll see. Reggie Brown caught it right past the marker.
Roy, that ball came out really quick. The question is it a complete pass?
The ruling on the field was a catch and a fumble recovered by JMU. First down.
Cohen King forced it out. They're going to rule it a catch. And let's see if this is going to be reviewed.
The previous play is under further review.
Bob Sokolowski, our replay official, and there's a lot to unpack here. On an important play in the early stages of our 2nd quarter. Ruling on the field is a first down for the Dukes. Will it stand? We're about to find out.
Was incomplete, and it's because there's a time element to this as well that has to happen in real time. And while Reggie Brown does secure it, Cohen King punches it out before he has a chance to make a move common to the game. That turn doesn't qualify, doesn't have it for long enough, and Virginia ends up getting the stop.
And in our estimation as well, indisputable video evidence to overturn the call of completion on the field, negating the JMU first down.
Yep.
So Virginia gets it back. That was an important call. We will see if the Cavs can respond with the freshman quarterback back on the field.
And Virginia has to get out of its own way some. 3 holding calls have taken them behind the sticks a couple of times. Some negative plays. This is a Virginia offense that's going to have to stay on schedule and help out the freshman quarterback, Anthony Colandrea.
3 for 3 to start, 82 yards, and that touchdown is first of his Virginia career. And I think if you would have told Tony Elliott these are going to be his numbers approaching the 10-minute mark of the 2nd quarter, he would have taken it pregame. Going to toss it on first down. Malachi Fields to the 40. His 2nd grab. And a gain of 9.
Man, I love that. I love that call on first down with a freshman quarterback. Just an easy toss to the boundary. Malachi Fields one-on-one. It's press bail, so the corner's thinking that he's going deep. Easy pitch and catch.
Cole's the tackle, 2nd and short. Paris Jones, the running back. We have seen Mike Hollins in the backfield today, which was outstanding. Colandrea is straight ahead, and we'll see where they spot it. Towards Jones, the tackle, right at the line to gain. It'll be 3rd down. Roddy needs about 1.5 inches here.
That's where you'd love to be able to go under center with a quarterback, although freshman who's listed at 180 pounds at 5'11", I'm not so sure that the quarterback sneaks what you're going with, but it is a big play for Virginia.
Bottled up, driven down, James Carpenter, the former walk-on, number 99. Well, he's got something to prove here today. That's a loss of 3, and the punt team trots on for UVA.
James Carpenter is what they affectionately call, this is a technical term, Roy, a game wrecker. It's not often that you have a defensive tackle nose guard that pops off when you watch on film, but 99 does that. Kurt Signetti told us last week was like a C- game, C+ game for him. I said, oh my goodness, if he plays an A+ game, what's that going to look like? Well, that was an A+ play right there.
I think the first time I heard from you this week getting ready for this game, Carpenter's name was the first name that you referenced. He just popped on film after last week's win against Bucknell. JMU gets it back. Cheese Surratt on the return as we step aside in Charlottesville. The north side of Scott Stadium. And UVA strong. The theme today. Tens of thousands of T-shirts passed out to this capacity crowd. And on 1st down, Jordan McLeod's pass nearly intercepted by James Jackson, who's about 30 yards deep down the field in coverage.
Jordan McLeod had all day to throw that football. It was that deep over route cleared out by a post on the front side. James Jackson does a nice job of dropping deep. Jordan McLeod's got to put a little more oomph into that thing, get it over the linebacker out towards the sideline, and they'd have had a big play.
Is that God-given talent, or is that coachability to get that pass in there?
A little bit of everything, a little bit of both there.
2nd and 10. Wahoo showing pressure. McLeod delivers. That's another strike and a 1st down. Elijah Surratt. There he goes, tiptoeing down the sideline. Into Virginia territory, shoved out near the 40. Give him 28.
You know, you asked about whether it's God-given ability, whether it's coachability. Well, this time Jordan McLeod, he's on balance, he's got a great platform, and he anticipates the throw. That's how you get by not having the strongest arm in the world. Delivers the football out wide, and there's your big play.
Palmer, the running back, play action McLeod. He's got a lot of real estate in front of him. And a penalty marker comes in. This one could be coming back.
Holding, offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Tyshawn Wyatt, the junior from Richmond. That infraction negates a gain of 21.
Yeah, and this one was pretty obvious. Tyshawn Wyatt. Bit of a tackle from the tackle.
A tackle.
A tackle. Not the kind of tackle that you'd want. Cam Butler on the rush.
How impressive was Cam Butler in our conversations this week?
He's tremendous.
I told him after football, ACC Network maybe, and he was interested in that. I'm just saying.
Well, he mentioned that he didn't want to find a job. That's part of the reason why he decided to come back to Virginia for another year. He didn't want a job hunt, so I think he's got a layup there.
McLeod kept it. Shoved down at midfield, Taylor.
Cam Butler was impressive in our meetings yesterday. He's been impressive on the sideline all day. He's been one of the voices down here, calming everyone down, reminding them to do their jobs and keep their mind on the field as much as possible right now.
Yeah, his leadership really brought under the spotlight by this Virginia coaching staff in our meetings yesterday here on grounds.
Defensive coordinator John Rosinski said, look, leadership comes from age and production. He goes about everything the right way. He's just a tremendous representative. Was a captain in that first game against Tennessee.
2nd and 18. Horton in motion again. Conservative call straight ahead. Kalon Black, over 100 yards last week, has been held in check so far today. Roddy picks up 8. It'll be 3rd and manageable, near midfield or in plus territory now.
James Madison, not typically one of the more aggressive fourth down teams in the country, but you're in that no man's land. And the way your defense has played the last few drives against Virginia, I think you treat this like it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. You call that play, and if you get the first down, great. If not, you've got a decision on 4th down.
Dukes need 10. In the flats for Black. They won't get there. Virginia had that play well covered. 3rd and about 5 coming up. Jonas Sanker sniffed that one out quickly. Black slow to get up, but he's okay.
You're in that no man's land, Roy. I'd go for it here. 4th and 5. Your choices are 55-yard field goal. You're not doing that. You can try and take a delay game or punt it, or you can go for it and try and land another blow to this Virginia defense.
How big is this? And Curt Cignetti, a slow walk down the sidelines. He may call a timeout.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard
And
penalty.
the Dukes
Fourth down.
will take the delay of game. And Coach Cignetti may be leaning on this defense after it's gotten off to such a great start this year again.
Yeah, and look, the last time you had Virginia pinned back deep, you blocked the punt for a touchdown, so that probably plays into it as well. You feel like you have the special teams advantage, but you have to take the delay of game to move it back. The execution on this punt, though, is huge, because what do you gain if you punt it in the end zone? You gain 20 yards? No, that it's that much of a difference, especially if you hadn't taken the delay. It's 15 yards ultimately, but we'll see how this goes.
I know what your old ball coach would have done. Paul Johnson just sent you a text during that sequence. He said, we got to go for it. Let's see if the Duke special teams kept that one out of the end zone. Standing on the goal line, they will say it broke the plane. And a touchback coming for the Wahoos. Wayne Knight raced down there. It was close. Just a net of 22 yards on that exchange. Virginia football after this. AMU, we were told more than 10,000 fans were supposed to make their way over the mountain, some 58 miles away, to take in their Dukes today, and they have showed up. They have been loud. Malachi Fields has been loud as well. He's spun down out of bounds, but not before he picks up another first down. Torres Jones the stop after a gain of 13.
Really liking these first down calls to Malachi Fields. You put him as the single receiver to the boundary, and if you don't send any help, if you're JMU, then they're just dishing it out to number 8, who's been tremendous the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Fields healthy is a difference maker. His 3rd grab already. Catching 4 passes a week ago in the loss to Tennessee. No running room for Kobe Pace, Aiden Fisher, and Jacob Thomas. No, Fisher blocked a punt, which helped lead to a JMU touchdown in the first quarter. Number 11 in white has been very active so far, the sophomore.
That tackle looked like the unstoppable force against the immovable object. Just bounced off each other. Aiden Fisher, you said it, has been active.
All of a sudden, you entered postseason form with your commentary.
Oh, well, you know.
4 stops for Fisher. You've been in postseason form since the preseason. Colandrea going to step up. Nifty move. He'll make it 3rd and manageable. Anthony Colandrea, a little shimmy to the step that time.
It's like a no-look juke, too. He's looking outside. Aiden Fisher has no idea that he's going to cut back. Then it's a little whoop to the inside.
Cavs 1 for 4 on 3rd down. Hollins checks in at running back. Just 32% in that department a year ago. Des Kitchings calling plays. Colandrea the pump fake. That's going to be stopped well short. Fields gave it the old college try, but he stopped short of the 40. After a gain of 3, and the punt team has to come back on for UVA.
Well, again, it's the right side of the offensive line that allows pressure, that forces Colandrea to scramble out wide. It's a sort of a slower developing play with the crossers, and it's really thrown off when you get outside the pocket. Aiden Fisher, number 11, then bears down on you. But they're going to have to do something. Virginia's going to have to do something to help out that right tackle, Ugananana.
And also Colandrea with Des Kitchings calling plays. I mean, it's got to be moving at warp speed right now in his mind in his first career start.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Full start, offense. Not all 11 players were set for 1 second prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
I think the bigger thing, though, like Colandrea has actually looked like he's managed the speed of the game fine. But you have to give him an opportunity. You can't have pressure right in his face. A right tackle can't get beat inside right off the snap to force him off his spot. The play's dead after that.
5 drives for the Who's. 4 of those have ended in a punt, including one that was blocked for a touchdown. That nearly was a second punt block. And JMU seeing something with UVA's special teams to take advantage. Dukes get it back after this. Taji Hudson, redshirt sophomore from Cedartown High School down in the Peach State. He's caught some passes today. He's thrown some passes, including one for a touchdown.
You know what they say, Roy, the more you can do, the more valuable you are. Catch them, you throw them, maybe we'll see him run them a little bit later on. It was an excellent play design on that touchdown. Taji Hudson has been excellent early on.
It's heartbreaking to find out Paul Johnson dialed up 3 passes for you, and you made the decision not to throw any of those balls.
Should have just slung them. One of them was against LSU in 2008, and I was terrified to throw that thing. Patrick Peterson would have picked it off and taken it to the house.
Maybe a good call on your part. Kalon Black with a crease. Good pickup on first down for the Dukes. And a penalty marker sitting at the 31.
Holding, offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Cole Potts.
Tell you what, you better not grab anything today. Jerry Magallanes' crew is on top of it. What's that, the 5th holding call we've seen between the 2 teams? Cole Potts is the culprit. That was, I'll see myself out after that one.
Thank you. You were sitting on that one all week.
It's written on my board.
You're now back in preseason form.
Exactly. Dad jokes.
First and a long ways. Under 5 to play in our first half. Black spun down hard across the 20. Malcolm Green, the transfer from Clemson. Stopped him after a modest pickup.
JMU has done a really nice job of when Virginia has had these holding penalties, when they've been behind the chains, of making them pay, ending that in punts. Virginia has to do the same thing. They have not had quite as many opportunities, but Virginia's going to have to do the same thing. I think we're going to get a little bit of a delay. There was a fan in the north end zone that having to be carted off. Cart's basically driving on the sidelines of JMU.
Well, you hope everything is okay. That'll stop the action for a moment on 2nd and 16. Brown in motion. McLeod low and away. Zach Horton trying to dive to get it. The coverage was there by Sanker. Roddy, it's 3rd and long. If you're Virginia, you trying some pressure here? You trying to force the hand of Jordan McLeod?
No, I don't think so. I think you play it conservative, make him throw the ball in front of you and come up and tackle well. But this game got off to a really frenetic start offensively. A ton of big plays. Both defenses have settled down as we've gone further along in this one.
Cavs without the services of Josh Ahern today. James Jackson has done a great job. And Black goes down. Cam Robinson. No gain on the play. And 3 and out for JMU. And Virginia's defense starting to settle in a little bit more.
They really are. They are really excited about number 5, Cam Robinson, the true freshman. Played a lot against Tennessee a week ago. And does an excellent job keeping his feet moving as he approaches the tackle, then eventually bringing the ball carrier down. This Virginia defense, as you said, Roy, has sort of steadied the ship. They've only given up 10 points so far. That first drive where they kind of got hit, and then the field goal attempt,
Ethan Davies back deep to receive this punt. The fair catch is called for. Not made comfortably. Davies dives on it at the 33. Now remember to kick off your Week 1 NFL Sunday tomorrow 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the app. John McEnroe sits down with Aaron Rodgers. Get an all-access look at Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel. Those stories, all the early breaking news, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. And also don't forget, 54th season of Monday Night Football kicks off next week. Jets, Bills, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. Coverage starts with Scott Van Pelt, the New Look Monday Night Countdown Crew at 6 Eastern as we are here for the NFL's regular season. Colandrea steps up, wants it all, has a man. Overthrew Demeek Starling. It'll be second down, and he had a step.
He did. He opted for the big shot down the field to the post. It was a post wheel concept. They had Malik Washington up the sideline on the wheel, and he could have gone there. It would have been an easier throw, but certainly could have completed that one as well.
The one big play accounting for 63 yards for UVA. The other 20, well, less than that. First incompletion for Colandrea. Harris-Jones tried to get to the edge. He could not. Lassoed by Jamri Cromois. It'll be third down and long.
Virginia had a lot of success early on with this wide zone play, but Tyreek Tucker gets penetration from the inside. Cromois gets penetration on the outside. And again, Virginia in a third and long.
I like the big tackle wearing number 9.
Oh, I love that. I am a big fan of small numbers on big people.
Pressure. Fields has it. Was he in front of the line to gain? And the answer is yes. Colandrea with all kinds of pressure in his grill right in the kitchen, and he stood tall.
It's a big-time throw from a true freshman. He's got a defensive tackle, Tyreek Tucker, bearing down on him. Delivers the ball at the last possible minute before Fields is out of his break. Fields turns around, catches it, first down, Virginia.
5 grabs for Fields for 53 yards. Colandrea wants to go long again. Into JMU territory goes J.R. Wilson. Another big gainer inside the 25 and a gain of 32.
And that's a massive pass up the middle into a tight window up the seam. See what the stoppage of play is for, because they were going with some tempo.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute 48 seconds. 1:48 on the game clock. We'll start on my signal. Thank you.
So now that we're under 2 minutes, the clock stops on the first down, and then we'll restart once the chains are set, like it used to be in the good old days, Roy.
Are we that old to where we refer to those days as the good old days back in my day?
I'm old enough to remember last year when the clock stopped for every first down and then resumed on the official's whistle.
Colandrea's numbers impressive in his first career start. The lead is 10 for JMU, but the Hoos are on the move. Colandrea keeps it, dumps it off. They'll get the short gainer to Mish, and Grant Mish, his first reception of the year.
And Mish gets out of bounds there as well, which saves Virginia having to use a timeout or being in a situation where they would use a timeout. Because the new clock rules, it is running clock. You go out of bounds, the clock's going to continue to run until under 2 minutes. Now that we're under 2 minutes, we're back to the traditional clock rules, the ones that we're all accustomed to. So good job getting out of bounds.
4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. Jones motions out, he'll cut back in, and there he is. Harris-Jones rumbles ahead. That should be enough for another first down. And in fact, it is an 8-yard gain. Cavs show tempo for the first time. Colandrea underneath. Washington inside the 5. And JMU has seen enough on this possession. A timeout's going to be called to try to settle things down and listen to this crowd.
JMU, 30-second timeout.
And Roy, Anthony Colandrea is fired up. He has been fantastic on this drive. That third down throw was big time. He's got a tackle in his face, delivers to Malachi Fields with anticipation before Fields even comes out of his break. That got this whole thing started, because that was a 3rd and long. It was an excellent play by the freshman quarterback. The ball up the seam, I mean, he has made some big-time throws. That 3rd down, to do this with pressure before your receiver turns around is just absolutely tremendous. Not the little dish to Paris Jones later in the drive, but to get them all started, it was Malachi Fields that was really big for him.
Wahoos can pick up a 1st down without scoring a touchdown. Mike Hollins in at running back. He'll get the call. Hollins powers his way in for the Virginia touchdown. What a moment for number 7, Mike Hollins. All the way back and into the end zone, and we have a 1-score game in Charlottesville.
Mike Hollins coming on the sideline after scoring that touchdown. His little brother on the sideline to greet him. Big time drive for Virginia, and of course it's number 7 who's been the emotional inspiration for so many of these Virginia players as they try and heal through the tragedy that they suffered at the end of last season. Scored a touchdown in the spring game, but Roy in front of thousands here today. A big score before halftime, and his little brother absolutely loves it.
My God, what a moment. (17-14). Just over a minute to go in our first half. And the Dukes will get it back near the 25 with 2 penalty markers coming in. We'll check in with Taylor.
Roddy, you mentioned it. Mike Hollins has been an inspiration to every single one of his teammates. His roommate, Paris Jones, said this to me. He said it's simple, but keep waking up and doing the best you can do. I can only imagine how hard it is for him, and he does it with a smile on his face. If he can keep going, there is a brighter tomorrow. That is the message that he told me, things he's learned from Mike Hollins, an inspiration to everyone.
The touchdown makes it a 3-point affair. There was a penalty called on JMU on the return, and a holding call moves the football back to the 12. And Virginia, Roddy, with a lot of momentum here at the end of the first half.
A lot of momentum. I expect JMU to be pretty conservative here. They get the ball back in the second half, but Virginia's defense has settled down. That was a big-time drive by an offense that's kind of stubbed its toe a ton on that last drive.
No, Palmer bolts across the 15. Gain of 6, and I would agree with your assessment. It feels like Kurt Cignetti. Just like to get into halftime, maybe.
For a second, Tony Elliott might use some of those timeouts. I mean, make JMU punt it away, go after it, try and block it maybe. But I think with the momentum you have, I don't disagree with him going to halftime.
Dukes will have to run one more play, and for Tony Elliott, Roddy, you have to think that this start has done a lot for his team, his program. And they're going to have a chance in this second half as Virginia will get the football to start the third quarter. 17-14 our score at halftime. Mike Hollins reaching the end zone moments ago. His first touchdown since last year's tragedy. UVA strong. First advantage. There's a threat of rain in the area. It's just to the south of Charlottesville. And we'll see what Mother Nature has in store between the Dukes and the Cavs. First meeting in 40 years in two teams that are separated by less than 60 miles. Sunbelt versus the ACC. Malik Washington back deep to receive this kickoff from Connor Madden. And Madden sends it 5 yards deep. Touchback coming as we check in with T-Mac.
Cignetti, after the first quarter, was really displeased with his defense, but he said as the second quarter progressed, he felt like they were much better defensively. He said specifically in the rushing attack, only allowing 7 yards on the ground was impressive, but now they want to get more pressure when it comes to Virginia's passing attack. And now he said the question mark for them is their offense. He said, can we settle back in? We were not able to do that after they made some adjustments in the second quarter, so I want to see better protection from the offensive line and create separation for their receivers.
Taylor, thank you. A great start for Colandrea. True freshman. Stepped foot on campus in January. Has a man and he's wide open. It's Kobe Pace. Kobe Pace to the house. Virginia out in front for the first time today.
The question coming into this game, Roy, is what would the effect be of starting a true freshman in this emotional environment? Anthony Colandrea has been fantastic so far today.
Two big passing plays. The first one to Malik Washington for 63 and a touchdown. The second from 75 yards out to Kobe Pace. And the Cavaliers have a 4-point lead.
It's just a verticals concept, but instead of using a receiver, you get Kobe Pace on a rail route up the seam. Watch the eyes of Anthony Colandrea as he moves in the pocket. They're downfield. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the football. Excellently designed play by Des Kitchings. And Kobe Pace ends up in the end zone. How about the big plays that they've been able to make?
Anthony Colandrea, start number 1, true freshman quarterback. 12 of 13 for 247 yards and 2 touchdowns. Virginia, you have a quarterback.
I mean, that is a guy that does not lack confidence one bit, Roy. And look, when Tony Musk gets healthy, we will have the conversation on who needs to be the starter. Right now, all Virginia needs to be concerned about is that the true freshman is performing well. Look, after this game, I don't know how you go back, to be honest with you, but we'll have that conversation later on. They got a ball game to play.
He's thrown for more touchdown passes than incompletion so far.
That's tremendous.
I know who the starting quarterback is next week. JMU gets it back after the 14-yard kickoff return, and Jordan McLeod has got some work to do. His numbers have been good, but JMU's offense has been held in check the last quarter.
When you look at how much the offenses have scored, JMU's offense has scored 10 points. They had 2 good drives. One ended in a field goal, the other obviously in a touchdown. The other touchdown we showed was a special teams touchdown. This Virginia offense throughout the entirety of the game has been the better offense overall, now putting up 3 touchdowns.
14-0 lead has been erased. First time JMU has touched it, trailing today. Kalon Black tripped up by Sanker. Gain of 3, and that's it.
Tony Elliott told Taylor at halftime that they sort of expected JMU to run the football because that's who they want to be. And they came out throwing the ball a lot. If you're JMU, that's where most of the success has come. It hasn't been running the football. It's been tossing it downfield.
Sproles in motion. McLeod wants to throw it. The crosser is there to Reggie Brown. Plenty of speed ushered out near the 25. It'll be 3rd down.
Now for JMU questions, what do you go with? We haven't seen Jordan McLeod's legs all that much today. We saw it on the first drive. They converted a big 3rd down. They've had some success with some of those crossing routes like you've just seen. But 3rd and short, if you get a light box, wouldn't be surprised to see him run it either.
12 personnel, a couple of extra tight ends, 3rd down and 2. And the deep give goes to Black, and I don't know. I don't think so. Chico Bennett led the charge. And the Wahoos may have just forced a 3 and out. And this veteran officiating crew indicating it is, in fact, 4th down.
Offense for JMU has not come off the field yet. I would be pretty surprised to see them go for it from here. If you're Virginia, you have to make sure that you don't jump on the hard count. But Chico Bennett knifing into the backfield, able to stop him short.
4th and 2 from their own 25. McLeod gets it. They'll set up the screen. And I don't think so. Down goes Sproles. Here comes UVA. James Jackson snipped that one out from the get-go.
Roy, I'm going to be honest, I don't know why you go for it in that situation. You got hit with a big play, but your defense generally has been okay through this game. There's a freshman quarterback on the other side. And then this play call, the high throw completely throws off the timing of it. There's penetration into the backfield. You don't complete the blocks on the outside. I don't like the decision. I don't like the execution. I don't like anything about that.
Paris Jones upended after a short gain, and the freshman quarterback back on the field in Colandrea. You can feel his confidence from our broadcast position here at Scott Stadium.
You absolutely can. And I just think in that situation, the reward, you still have a long way to go if you convert the 1st down. And if you don't, you give Virginia a short field. A Virginia offense has got a lot of momentum.
Low snap handled. Low throw also caught by Malachi Fields. Double team ball came out late, and let's see. Dukes think they have it. He was very close to stepping out of bounds, and that forward progress stopping. Cavs maintain possession. 3rd down. Well, the ball came out as he was coming down, then it trickled out of bounds.
Yeah, I think the question is, did he possess it in bounds? I don't think that's the case. Also was forward progress stuff.
Mike Hollins back on the field, rushes for a 1st down on a play that could have been reviewed. Instead, Cavs go tempo. It'll be 1st down.
Boy, every play is looked at by the replay booth, and if they have a clear and obvious look at it, then there's no reason to stop the game. I think it was pretty clear that the ball was not recovered in bounds. We didn't hear the announcement on whether they declared forward progress was stopped, but I don't think there was possession, firm possession in bounds.
Cavs can get a 1st down without scoring a touchdown. Colandrea drops back. Jones dropped it. 2 penalty markers come out. And some late contact with Chroma.
Well, I think you're going to get a targeting here.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 9. After distance to the ball penalty. 1st down.
And JMU coming unglued to start this 2nd half.
Yeah, they are. And look, to me, it kind of goes down back to that 4th down decision. It was felt a little panicked. You know, like you were grasping to get momentum back. Chroma Probably fortunate that this isn't called a targeting. Quarterback is a defenseless player, so all you need is forcible contact to the head or neck area. That's pretty high.
First down and goal. Mike Hollins straight ahead. Stays alive there and then keeps pushing. Boy, he kept his legs churning. And for a moment, almost broke it into the end zone.
I'll tell you what, Torres Jones looked like he got hit by a Mack truck. He just grabbed onto Mike Hollins' leg. How about the momentum swing we've seen? JMU up 14-0, and now Virginia knocking on the door of another touchdown.
Power set. And a timeout will be called by the Dukes.
Timeout, JMU, the first timeout of the half.
Cavs with all the momentum, driving again. It'll be second down and goal for head coach Tony Elliott's team after this. Back in Charlottesville, second down and goal. Kobe Pace, the running back, on the toss sweep. Pace to the edge, to the pylon, and he's in for the touchdown.
It's just a quick toss, race to the pylon to finish it off in the Clemson transfer. He's able to get it in the end zone.
Second touchdown of the game, the first one through the air, the second on the ground, and the quick toss sweep gets the job done for head coach Tony Elliott's Virginia Cavaliers. Well, Wahoo won these last three possessions. It was a touchdown with 1:02 left in the first half. Another one just 11 seconds into this half. And then now Kobe Pace reaching the corner of the end zone. 164 total yards on those last three touches.
What do they talk about? The last 5 minutes of the first half, first 5 minutes of the second half. And right now, Virginia is up 21-0 in the all-important middle 10. And remember, Kurt Cignetti decides to go for it on fourth down. Doesn't get it, and it's 23 yards to the end zone for the Virginia Cavaliers. So that fourth down decision comes back to absolutely haunt James Madison.
Bad decision for the Dukes. Great decision for the freshman signal caller. And the Virginia Cavaliers. A lot of football left to be played. More than 10 minutes to go here in our third quarter. 28-17. Matt Ganyard, 34 years young, sends it deep into the end zone. Dukes will get it at their 25. What a lineup we have for you this weekend and Monday on ESPN. The U.S. Open Women's Final this afternoon. Our Saturday night football game has Texas and Alabama, that top 11 showdown. Monday Night Football as well, the Week 1 matchup. Josh Allen and the Bills taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. It is elite programming headed your way the next 72 hours here on the ESPN networks. You got the Joker there tomorrow, right? I mean, the tennis has been elite, the U.S. Open.
Has been elite. Coco Gauff representing here tonight for the women.
Dump off to Sproles. Head to the 31, a 6-yard gain on first down.
Now, if you're James Madison, again, this is like the beginning of the game with Virginia. You just need something good for you to happen on this drive. A quick completion, get you to a 2nd and 4. Maybe you get Jordan McLeod's legs involved a little bit more. Try and get him resettled into this game.
Pressure off the edge for a moment by Kyle. He retreats, and the pass is incomplete. Maxwell Moss, the intended receiver. King was all over him.
It's a really nice job by Cohen King. That is not a throw that is Jordan McLeod's strength. He actually threw that one pretty well, but Cohen King all over that out.
King known for his ability to solve Rubik's Cubes. As a corner, solves a lot of problems the field side here at Scott Stadium today. Zach Orton lines up in the slot. That massive tight end. McLeod the other direction. McLeod dumps it off, incomplete. Heavy pressure. Paul Acare got there in a hurry. And Acare, Columbia transfer, forced the hand of Jordan McLeod, wearing number 1 in orange.
Well, it was a really nice job by a couple of guys. James Jackson in coverage, staying back and knowing that Acare was going to be able to put the pressure enough on Jordan McLeod. I mean, 7 in orange does a great job of discouraging the throw, breaking late, forcing the 4th down punt.
Acare, academic all ACC last year, started his career playing football at Columbia. Looming large, wearing that number 1 jersey. And a fair catch made after a punt of 40 yards by Davies. Virginia football after this.
Against Miami, and Bama wins in Tuscaloosa.
Cavaliers get the football back. Harrison tripped up the jet sweep action. I don't know that Nick Saban's ever had a quarterback like Jalen Milroe. We were there for the spring, and he turned the ball over a couple of times, wasn't great. Last week against Middle Tennessee, he was phenomenal. And then now you take that skill set against Texas and Sark and what they want to do on defense. I mean, he should put up big numbers again against the Horns tonight. Deep handoff, Hollins bottled up. He's going to lose a couple. It'll be 3rd down and long. So a chance for JMU to force a 3 and out, and a big play coming up.
Yeah, and I think if you're Des Kitchings, you have to be careful here. Emmanuel Bush got the pressure. Look, Anthony Colandrea is 13 of 14. The only incompletion was the deep shot down the field. But protection at times has been an issue. So I think you got to be careful here so that you don't put the freshman in a position to make his first mistake of the game.
Des Kitchings does not want to see a freshman moment right now.
Exactly.
See if the play call reflects that. He wants to throw it across the middle into traffic. How about a 1st down to Malik Washington? What a pass.
You know what, Roy? You don't got it. When you got a guy that can make throws like this, give him the keys on 3rd down. I mean, that is a nails throw. There are 3 guys around Malik Washington, and he puts it in the perfect spot for the Northwestern transfer. They got themselves a quarterback. They got a quarterback, Roy.
Jacob Thomas injured on the play. Number 27 for the Dukes after a gain of 25. Cavs have it. 1st down after this. Was thrown for 3 bills, as you talked about during the break. Got 2 touchdowns as well.
He's been unbelievable today, and there've been some big time throws in there.
Feeling confident, and on cue, intercepted Francis Meehan. JMU forces the hand of the freshman, and Meehan forcing the turnover on the pick.
It's a great play by Francis Meehan, who starts to the field side of the formation, and then because of the motion, gets out to the sideline and makes the pick. It's a great play. Seeing where the ball's going to go, it's not a bad throw. I think he was going to be able to hit it, but he comes all the way across the field, and the freshman just doesn't see him.
Lawton motions out on 1st down. Empty backfield for Jordan McLeod. And Hudson dives down at the 35. A gain of 5 on 1st down.
It's just one of those freshman mistakes where you look that way the whole time. That's where all the action is, and you forget to check the backside safety coming across the field to make the play.
Super senior records his 1st interception of 2023. Play action McLeod. How about a wheel route the other way? Lobs it up, nearly picked off. Black was open for a moment, and 2 penalty markers come in. Cohen, King in coverage. got a fingertip on it.
Yeah, you're going to get a roughing the passer on Cam Butler.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 82, 16-yard penalty, first down.
Butler being aggressive, it's just unnecessary. It's not super late, but it is obvious the ball is thrown. And when you hit a quarterback like that after he obviously releases the football, they're not going to allow you to do that. Silly mistake by Virginia.
The ball moves ahead to midfield. Lawton dives over the pile. 3-yard pickup.
There's a lot of time left in this game, and you don't want the mistakes like the two we've just seen, the interception and roughing the pass. You don't want that to be the thing that lets JMU back in the game if you're Virginia. And if you're JMU on the other side, you have to take advantage of these mistakes because it's been tough sledding for the majority of the game after that first quarter.
Wahoos have scored 21 unanswered after trailing 17-7. Now leading by 11. McLeod wants to go long again. Back shoulder, and Hudson couldn't corral it. Tajee was open, had a step for a moment, but Cohen King, we called his name a bunch today, Roddy, deep down the field, and he's been up to the challenge for these JMU receivers.
A guy that moved to cornerback in the spring was a big contributor for them at safety a year ago, but because you lose Anthony Johnson and Fintrell Cypress, you need guys at corner, and Cohen King has done a tremendous job.
Number 9 in orange, the 6th-year senior, holding his own. 3rd and 7. McLeod across the middle. The crosser over the official is incomplete. Sproles was open, and Kyle was able to break that one up, Roddy.
Sometimes you're late to arrive, but if you go through the hands of the receiver, you can still break up the pass. Tavon Kyle's played a lot of football in his career. Put that hand right through the hands of the receiver to where the ball is. Force a punt. And how about the defense coming up big after that interception?
How hard would that pass have been to catch when the umpire dunks right in front of it at the last minute? That's pretty distracting, right?
It's pretty tough, yeah.
Fair catch made at the 6. Punt of 41, and now for our Fansville College Football Update, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. And there are a handful of big games involving ACC teams around America, including that one delay down at Carter Finley where the Fighting Dave Dorans are trying to flex against Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame.
Of course there's weather when Notre Dame goes to Carter Finley. Last time they played, there was a hurricane. Virginia Tech delayed up in Blacksburg. Georgia Tech delayed down in Atlanta. Hopefully that flight's not delayed a little bit later.
Philpott's forecast indicates we don't want a delay in Charlottesville.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Philpott's forecast. Are we going to get one? Forecast us here, Mr. Weatherman.
The rain is on the way.
Oh, Lord.
Left side give. Results in no gain. Kobe Pace stopped by Jalen Green. Philpott's forecast has been toned down since our week 0 lengthy weather delay down in Montgomery. Have we put that one on the shelf so that we don't have any bad juju coming our way? Well, I mean, as a meteorologist, aspiring meteorologist, we're right about half the time.
That's
so
right. That's right.
Take that for what it's worth.
It's about like my record as an analyst.
Anthony Colandrea, 15 of 17, 279 yards. Last pass he threw was intercepted. Trying to get out of his own end zone here, and he does, just barely. But the sack will make it 3rd down and a long ways to go after a loss of 5. And Croma was guilty for the penalty on the last drive. Crashed the pocket.
I'll tell you what, the ball security there kind of makes your stomach go into your throat. Just a little nervous, at least on that initial evasion. I think you're going to see a pretty conservative play call to try and get you some room to punt the ball away. Malachi Fields singled up to the top of your screen. There's a safety over the top. We'll see if they leave him one-on-one. If they do, that's a safe-ish throw to a big receiver if you want to just toss it up to him and see if you can get something.
Tony Elliott, 3rd down and long, backed up to his own 2-yard line, wants to talk things over Probably a good use of a timeout here on 3rd and long.
Yeah, you got to get this one right. You want to talk to your offensive staff, recognizing that protection early in this season has been a bit of an issue. What play call do you have on to limit the damage that can be done by a pass rush, to limit the number of mistakes that could be made by a freshman quarterback, and to get you some room from the goal line so you can punt it away? It's a tricky situation.
Well, it was an interesting recruitment for number 10 in orange. Was one time committed to Middle Tennessee, and head coach Rick Stockstill. And his recruitment kind of took off after Virginia was able to scout him, and they quickly offered. A number of other schools came in late in the process, but he committed in July of 2022, enrolled this past January, has been on campus through spring. All those extra reps, I think, have paid off in this start today, despite that last interception. Conservative call. Hollins upended at the 1, and that's it. He'll lose another yard. It'll be 4th down. JMU, give the defense credit here, Roddy, forcing the quick 3 and out.
You have to give the defense a lot of credit. Torres Jones shoots through and is able to get the tackle, and Virginia goes backwards to their own 1-yard line before they have to punt it. Last time they punted out of their own end zone, Roy, got blocked for a touchdown. Now you're going to go into punt safe. Everybody condensed down. You got to one-step this punt. Get it off.
Sparks an inch in front of his own end zone, that back line. Gets away a beauty. Cheese Surratt tracking from his own 47. Looking for the convoy. JMU starts in plus territory at the Virginia 45. And we remind you this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. If you're Jordan McLeod, if you're Kurt Signetti, do you look at a deep ball here, getting it back plus territory?
That's exactly what I was going to say, Roy. It's like our minds are melded early in this season. This is a situation where you take a shot. It's 4-down territory, so you got 3 more downs to get the 1st down if you miss it. But you got to get some momentum on your side, and you can do that by hitting a big shot.
Palmer, the running back. Cloud wants to go back to the air. Trying to escape. A penalty marker comes in. He'll be sacked for a loss of 2. Cam Butler.
There's no foul on the play. 2nd down.
Jordan McLeod was slow to get up, Roy. They're always scared when you get tackled from behind, whether or not one of those ankles gets caught up. See if that affects the mobility.
Just from behind, that's always a bit awkward. 2nd down and 11. Palmer straight ahead, a gap. Delivers a little bit of lumber, and crossing the 40. Jonas Sanker was on the wrong end of that collision. 7-yard gain, 3rd down. Under 4 to go in the 3rd. And McLeod, another strike to Zach Horton. He'll dance out of bounds. That'll move the chains.
Good call against quarters coverage. You got the corner backing up. Just toss it out just past the sticks. Short field opportunity. You get that first down. Now JMU continues to have options. Another situation where you might take a shot down the field.
Wayne Knight, 25 in white and purple. At JMU backfield. He's going to run a deep route. McLeod going to take off. Jordan McLeod slides in safely near the 26. Well, McLeod buys some time. He'll gain 5.
Well, Virginia did a really nice job of defending the initial play. They were looking for the wheel out of the backfield, trying to take that shot. Virginia defended it well, but the legs of Jordan McLeod come into play, and they get a decent gain on 1st down.
Stevie Bracey had the missed tackle there that sprung McLeod. We've seen more wheel routes in this game than I think I've seen the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I know.
Tyson Lawton in at running back. Dukes have used 4 different ball carriers today. Lawton churning the legs. Keeps the play alive, and Lawton makes it 1st and goal. Power running for number 7.
He was in the pile. James Jackson had a shot at him. He had a safety come down, have a shot at him. But Tyson Lawton at 5'9", 205, a load to tackle.
16 yards of yak after contact into the end zone for a touchdown. Now the 6th-year senior, 2nd score of 2023.
Well, Roy, JMU didn't convert on the drive after the interception, but they ended up flipping the field to get a short field on this possession. And Tyson Lawton gets him back in this game.
It's starting to feel like Uncle Mo has shifted again. He's with the Cavaliers at the end of the half and to start the 3rd quarter. And now JMU with the defense and the ground game making a difference.
Well, that's what JMU wants to be. They want to do damage on the run, and when you have a back that can run as physically as Tyson Lawton, it can really set the tone. Virginia had the first play really bottled up. And he gets down near the goal line, and you just punch it in from a yard out.
Grad transfer from Stony Brook. He made the step up into the FBS ranks. And this season, starting to pay dividends. The senior from Staten Island, New York.
It's funny, talking to the JMU staff, they said, hey, look, we like to get guys who score touchdowns against us or beat us. Frank Signetti beat JMU when he was at Elon. Tyson Lawton once had 3 touchdowns against JMU in a game when he was at Stony Brook. They bring him over to our side, let him score touchdowns for us.
It's not rocket science, it's football for Kurt Signetti. You like that? Hey, you beat us, we want you on our side.
We would like you to do that for this team, not the teams that we play.
Washington, 6 yards deep again. Cavaliers will get it back over 2 minutes ago here in our 3rd quarter. And tell you what, we started singing the praises of Anthony Colandrea. A little shaky last couple of tosses, Roddy. Not to be unexpected for a guy making his first career start.
Yeah, look, I think he's okay. After the pick, you get a really tough situation when you're backed up near the goal line. He has to scramble a little bit. But remember those early drives? They put Malachi Fields to the boundary, just a little stop right on the boundary, get an easy completion. Malachi Fields is going to be to the bottom of your screen. It looks like one-on-one. They've gone press bail here. Now you motion out the back on the outside.
Colandrea, dual threat quarterback. Gets rid of it quickly. Malik Washington on the screen. A gain of 2, and that's it. Jalen Walker sniffed it out. Dukes would love another 3-and-out. Virginia really just wants to keep this drive alive, at least securing a couple of first downs. Try to flip the field. Washington approaching 100 yards through the air. And officially after a gain of 3, Colandrea. RPO game. Fires it to Jones. That's what the freshman can do. Paris Jones in the plus territory. Cuts it back. All the way down inside the 15. A gain of 58 yards on a play that was going nowhere.
Roy, it looked initially like this was a design quarterback draw, but Colandrea gets stopped almost right away, so he decides to scramble, see a guy open downfield. Sure, Paris Jones, you take it in the open field. And Jones shows off the speed. He's had a couple of times where he's gotten out in the open field, and they've had a hard time tracking him down.
That short toss, going for 58 yards, pushes Colandrea to 342 through the air, and Paris Jones did the bulk of the work that time. 1st and 10 for the Hoos. Kobe Pace against the grain inside the 10.
Boy, I've really liked the way the Clemson transfer Kobe Pace has run the ball today. He's been decisive in his cuts. It's been powerful. And this is a guy that had 641 yards for the Tigers back in 2021. Then this guy named Will Shipley emerged, and not a lot of carries to be gotten there.
I don't know. They may have taken him last Monday night. That's just me.
Yep.
Jalen Walker banged up on the play for the Dukes. Ball came out late by Pace. Was it before the knee was down? And there was no indication on the field by this officiating crew that there was a fumble on the initial indication.
And then the question is there an immediate recovery?
Croma jarred it loose, and I think Surratt may have jumped on it. Or it was Croma that did corral it.
Yeah,
Roddy, that may be a play that you want to take another look at.
You would absolutely, and look, there's plenty of time for this replay crew to do it. If this is going to be JMU football.
Walker injured.
The previous play is under further review.
And your early thought, Croma pushed the ball out and then recovered the loose football. That could be enough to change, well, everything on this drive, and we'll see.
It was clearly before the knee was down. So we'll take a look at what the replay booth is looking at. Tony Elliott better get his defense ready. From what we've seen,
and Surratt, I think, was the one that punched it out. How big would this be for both sides when it felt like Virginia was going to go ahead by 2 scores again?
That's huge. Looks like that's number 11, Aiden Fisher, who again makes a big play, blocked the punt earlier, ends up putting his fist right on the football. This is going to be JMU ball.
Now, Kobe Pace, a couple of big plays. He scored twice today. That time held up just long enough for the ball to be jarred loose, and it was Aiden Fisher.
You can hear this, the JMU faithful, they came strong today. They are chanting. They've seen on the Jumbotron what we've seen.
The other question I would pose, was that indisputable?
The ruling on the field stands as called. Second down.
Not enough to overturn the call on the field, which was no fumble, and that was close.
I vehemently disagree with that. There was plenty there that you could see that the knees were off. You could see the ball punched out. You could see who recovered the football. I would love to know what was disputable about that. Would love to know that.
Virginia keeps it 2nd and 7. Power set for Mike Hollins. And he'll get it. Hollins weaving his way to the end zone. Make it 2. Touchdown, Cavaliers.
What a day for Mike Hollins. What a day for this Virginia team.
Deuce is there again, Roddy. Deuce. Little brother.
Of course he is.
Bedridge's extra point is true. 35-24. And a bit of controversy before that touchdown run by Mike Hollins.
Well, look, Virginia's not going to apologize for a bad call. That was a bad call on the review. That ball should have been JMU football. Nonetheless, you got to punch it in and finish it. And Virginia absolutely does that. This running back room has been tremendous. Remember, the big play by Paris Jones got them down close. Kobe Pace has done a really nice job today, but Mike Hollins has been the finisher. down near the goal line. Goes airborne for a second one.
It was Hollins that gave an emotional speech to this football team back on Thursday. It wasn't a long speech, but it was one that every coach we spoke with this week referenced. Tony Elliott, Des Kitchings, Virginia's defensive play caller, and even talking with Cam Butler. Hollins got up, talked for about 90 seconds, and the room stood down and listened to what he had to say after all that he's overcome and his leadership over the course of the last 10 months on display in terms of production so far this afternoon.
Today, so much of today is about the journey, the healing journey. Mike Hollins, maybe more than anybody else, everything that he has gone through starting on November 13th of last year to arrive here today for the University of Virginia and go out and play and score, have success, tremendous.
Scored twice. And a fair catch made at the 6. Dukes will get it back. 16 seconds remaining in our third quarter. Mike Hollins has scored 2 touchdowns today to pace UVA on an emotional day in Charlottesville in the return to college football here at Scott Stadium. Jordan McLeod and the Dukes just scored their last touch. They'll try to do it again. The team from the Sun Belt. Team that was picked to win the Sun Belt East. Over the right side, a short pickup. Tyson Lawton stopped by Sanker in what could be the final play of the third. And the end of the third quarter has arrived.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Freshman got a little aggressive on one, but he came right back, and his ability to extend plays and find guys. He doesn't want to go down. He plays with the heart of a champion. So I'm just proud of him, excited for him.
You guys have been able to limit JMU on defense. Now they're starting to run the football again. How do you continue to keep them at bay here in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, we just got to understand it in the fourth quarters when we got to play our best, play assignment sound football, make sure we got a good eye discipline, hand placement, and play in our gaps.
Thank you, Coach. Roy?
Taylor, thank you. In the midst of that conversation, Nick Kidwell called for a false start. It'll be 2nd and 13 for the Dukes. We'll start our fourth quarter with Roddy Jones, Roy Philpott, Taylor McGregor. Here's Jordan McLeod throwing incomplete over the head of Phoenix Sproles.
I've been really impressed by Virginia's secondary, especially after those few shots early on. They have not allowed this JMU receiving core to get open and give Jordan McLeod easy throws.
The Dukes need 13. They'll set up the screen for Kalon Black. And shoved down short of the 25, James Jackson. A short gain on 3rd and long, and Virginia's defense forces a 3-and-out.
As they pretty consistently have, it seems like during the second half, it's felt like the margin for error on these offenses has been so small today. When you've gotten ahead of the chains, they've been good or been able to hit big plays, but behind the chains, and neither offense has had much success.
Ethan Davies back deep to receive this Ryan Hansen punt. No fair catch. Davies double teamed and went down hard. And after a punt of 45, a short return set up Virginia near its own 30-yard line, and it was Jacob Thomas that made sure nothing big was going to happen. UVA's special teams. Well, big night headed your way. College football on the ESPN networks. Talked a lot about Texas and Alabama. Top 11 showdown. Texas A&M and Miami. You gave me the pick of Alabama holding serve at home. Aggies and Canes, the return trip on ABC at 3:30. Who you got there?
I like the Aggies. I think they've got a legit offense this season.
That's a big game for both head coaches. Mario Cristobal and Jimbo Fisher. And the whole Bobby Petrino experiment in College Station this year. 5-yard gain for UVA on first down.
And a couple big games for the Southeastern Conference, who Florida goes on the road, takes an L to Utah. You had South Carolina go down to North Carolina, and you had LSU get absolutely mollywopped by Florida State.
Paris Jones again. Dragged down by his feet. Jalen Green stops him for a gain of 2. Mollywopped, is that in the Webster's dictionary
it's
somewhere?
a technical term, yeah. Okay. You got to look pretty closely. It's between molly and mollificent.
I knew what you meant when you said it. Just didn't know the technical definition.
Yeah, I mean, you can give it a Google. Big third down here for Virginia, though.
Cavs need 3. Kurt Cignetti needs a stop. Hollins motions out. Colandrea is going to be sacked, and he was hit hard. Back at the 30. Chuck Wadecki, 34. Brought him down, and the freshman quarterback was lucky to hold on to the football.
It's really perfect defense called by JMU. You get the blitz from the field. It's man coverage on the back end. You've got bodies around. There's not a clear throw. He's got to make a quick decision. Really well done.
Mollywopped?
Yeah, he got mollywopped too. Yeah, that was a mollywopping.
3rd sack by the Duke's defense. Sparks back on to punt. Turns it over beautifully. Surratt watches that one carry him into the end zone. It's a 69-yard punt. Dukes will get it back at their own 20. When we come back, 12:06 to go. Big possession headed your way for JMU. Welcome back to Charlottesville, Virginia. UVA strong, the theme this afternoon as Cavaliers return to play at home for the first time since last November. 35-24 our score, and earlier today, the late Lavelle Davis Jr., Devin Chandler, and Deshaun Perry honored after the tragedy last November that canceled the final 2 games of Virginia's football season. And the Cavaliers back at home, well, they played very well after a fast start by James Madison. A little trickeration as the early touchdown gave the Dukes the advantage. Phoenix Sproles catching the TD from wide receiver Taji Hudson. It made it 7-0 at the time, and the Dukes continued their magical ways. A block punt. D'Angelo Pons recovered punt block after Aiden Fisher. Make it 14-0. Then the freshman quarterback started to cook. Malik Washington from 63 yards out. And Anthony Colandrea making his first career start. Only had 1 incomplete pass in his first 15 attempts. Mike Hollins with the honors, a couple of touchdowns, and the celebration with his little brother Deuce. All smiles. An amazing start for Virginia in its return home for the first time in 2023. Roddy Jones, Roy Philpott, Taylor McGregor here with you, and the stats between the Dukes and the Cavs meeting for the first time in 40 years.
It's been a heck of a game. It was a great environment, a great crowd. But now it's about overcoming the adversity of the delay. Who does it benefit? Typically, when it rains a little bit, that ball gets a little wet, helps the defenses. But JMU needs to get something going offensively.
Lightning delay, rain delay, the weather delayed this contest for about an hour and 10 minutes. JMU football trailing. They'll touch it first. And a run off the left side results in 6 yards for Kalon Black as we check in with T-Mac.
Well, Roddy, you're exactly right. These last 12 minutes will come down to a mentality. Head coach Tony Elliott telling me his final message is, we've got 12 minutes, so let's go finish this one. He also went on to say there's a challenge in not wanting to get guys too comfortable, but also allowing them to relax. And then just a quick note, Will linebacker for JMU, Jalen Walker, is out for the rest of the game.
Hand off to Black, corralled, dropped at the line. Falmouy with the tackle to force the third down.
You know, we talk about momentum, we talk about good things. It takes a couple of plays to really get that juice back going. But every third down is going to feel like a big one from now on.
Sproles will switch sides. Trips right for JMU. McLeod heaves one deep, and that pass is caught. Reggie Brown. The deep out, a gain of 15. The drive continues for the Dukes.
Well, it's just a great job. It's a little smash concept. You get a little 5-yard curl and then a corner route behind it. It's cover 2. The corner stays up, and you fire that whole shot. Hit Reggie Brown.
Third catch for 61 yards into the flats. The H-back. Zach Horton close to midfield and stopped there. The tackle by Sanker after a gain of 7. Well, big drive in this game after JMU got the football back before the lightning delay, and the Dukes off and running.
It's a really nice throw by Jordan McLeod, too. One of his better throws of the day. On time, on target. I know Reggie Brown was open, but a nice delivery out of the locker room.
Approaching the 10-minute mark. Delayed give to Palmer. He'll attempt the right side on second down. Cam Butler met him. Stop short. Dukes will show tempo. Third down, less than a yard. Palmer's got it and then some. Upended at the 40. A 9-yard pickup on third down. Cohen King brought him down. JMU in plus territory.
Good tackle by Cohen King, or else I think Latrell Palmer hits his head on the goalpost. JMU's physicality, trying to run the football, it's who this offense wants to be. They haven't done it consistently today, but on this drive, they've looked good handing it off.
123 rush yards so far. Palmer's done some damage. Kalon Black has as well. Seen Wayne Knight on the field. Here's Lawton. Big gainer, Lawton. Hit at the 26. He'll be dropped there. A 13-yard gain. Wes Hall with a tackle. And some physical running right now for the Dukes.
Yeah, and a physical offensive line as well, creating holes. That's the thing that after a delay is the hardest to get back going. It's that physicality, and the run fit's not quite on for Virginia.
Two schools separated by just 58 miles. They haven't played more than a generation. Here's Lawton to the edge. Lawton with a full head of steam to the front pylon. Touchdown, JMU. Second score of the game for Tyson Lawton, this time from 27 yards out. Roddy, do you go for 2?
Yeah, I would. You were down 8, now you're down 5. You want to make it a field goal game. If you kick the extra point, you're going to need to score a touchdown no matter what. Tyson Lawton, nice job getting in the end zone. JMU, a little bit of confusion there on whether or not they were going to go for it. Still got a lot of time on the play clock.
Wayne Knight checks in at running back. Dukes will go for 2 to try to make it a field goal game. Knight motions out McLeod. Backside pressure. McLeod lost the handle. And the play blown dead. Virginia's defense, a big stand on the 2-point play. Akire with the pressure. And forcing the fumble in the process.
Really nice coverage on the back end, but it was Tyson Lawton getting in the end zone by bouncing it outside that makes this a different game. It feels like a 5-point game.
Delay of more than an hour back in Charlottesville, Virginia. And JMU has made this a football game once again. 35-30. Cavs get the football back with the lead after an impressive return to the field for the Dukes. And now let's see what Anthony Colandrea can do. Freshman quarterback making his first career start. It's been up and down, a roller coaster of sorts in our second half.
Well, mostly up for the majority of the game, but it has been in the second half a bit up and down. And now you're in a 1-score game in the fourth quarter. You had to deal with the weather delay. How does the freshman calm his nerves and drive this offense?
Power set with Hollins on the field and movement. Here come 2 penalty markers.
False start, offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Jimmy Christ.
Please reset the game clock to 8
Playing over that right tackle position for head coach Tony Elliott.
That is the position that Ugananana started at. It's been an up and down day on the offensive line.
Majority of the JMU fans have not left Scott Stadium. Field surprised as he turned around. The ball was there. Devin Cole's in coverage, a gain of 7. Well, the ball got to number 8 in orange in a hurry.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. Anthony Colandrea has thrown with some really nice anticipation over the course of this game. He's shown a couple of times the ability to and the faith to dish it before his receivers turn around.
18 of 20 through the air for almost 350 yards. On second down, Colandrea fires long. Brought in Malik Washington. Up at the 45, a gain of 20.
What a play by Malik Washington on the backside of this. The ball is not thrown perfectly. It's to the inside. He's got to jump, flip his hips, and make a catch while being contacted. That's why you go out and get the grad transfer from Northwestern to make plays like that.
Georgia native, now over 119 yards through the air. And the one touchdown which really changed momentum for Virginia early after it trailed 14-0. Colandrea now with 6 completions of 20 yards or longer, upended after a short gain for Mike Hollins. Aiden Fisher and Cromah combined to make the tackle. Well, Virginia would love to use its 4-minute offense and just drive it right down the field, eat up the clock, go back up by 2 scores.
If you can at least get in field goal range and take some clock and you get that field goal converted, you feel pretty good about this thing down the stretch.
Colandrea Fields fighting across the 45 into JMU territory and stopped right at the line to gain just short of a first down.
I like Des Kitchings rolling Colandrea out a couple of times now. You get away from that rush, you simplify the reads, you allow him to use his mobility, and if it's not there, he can take off with his legs, but he's delivered 2 nice passes.
Sugar huddle for the Cavs. Hollins straight ahead, and I don't think so. Torres Jones met him behind the line. It'll be 4th down.
It's the biggest decision of the day for Tony Elliott. I think you at least huddle up, get on the line of scrimmage, and hard count it. I got a tough time seeing Virginia going for it in this situation, though, Roy.
The offense remains on the field. And let's see how the Cavs want to approach this. Ball is snapped. It came in low. Hollins. It's going to be close.
I think he got it on the initial surge, and the line judge is pointing.
First down, the call.
A gutsy call by Tony Elliott. And the snap is poor. Colandrea handles it. Mike Hollins with the surge. Yeah, it looks like he is past the 44-yard line, which is what they needed for the first down.
Now, the 2 touchdowns were huge for Hollins. That 4th down conversion equally as big. Another touch, spun down short of the 40, a gain of 3 more. Kamara with the tackle and precious time slipping away for the Dukes.
And that's why you go for it in that situation. You say, look, our defense was on the ropes on that last drive. Best way to win this football game is to keep the football. Virginia has typically been conservative in those situations, though.
This drive started with over 8.5 minutes to go in the game. 4 minutes have eclipsed off the clock, and now a false start's going to back the Wahoos up 5.
False start, offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Ty Furnish.
You don't love the false start. One thing that I did love when they lined up, though, was Grant Mish, the 6th-year senior tight end, turns back to his true freshman quarterback and gives him the slow down, drain the clock. He looked back and he put his hand out as if to say, hey, we got up to the line quick. Slow this thing down. Let's take the clock down. That's good leadership by Grant Mish. Unfortunately, you get the false start and it moves you back 5 yards.
Second down and 12. Clock stops after the penalty. Hollins close to the original line of scrimmage. After a 2-yard gain, Meehan, who had an interception earlier in the half, credited with the tackle. Now it's 3rd down and 10. And what do you do here?
I think you're approaching this as if it's 3rd and 7 or so, and you try and get at least 7 so that you have a decision to make on 4th down. They've rolled Anthony Colandrea out a lot in this second half. Can't do that here. I think you try and find Malachi Fields.
Fields has been Mr. Reliable. Colandrea keeps the play alive. Throws it away. James Carpenter, the heavy pressure.
James Carpenter and Jamari Croma in the backfield, harassing the quarterback, and Colandrea does well not to take a 20-yard sack in this situation and not to get an intentional grounding. Mike Hollins in the general vicinity, or excuse me, that was Paris Jones in the general vicinity.
JMU's defense did its job.
Sure did.
Dukes have 2 timeouts to work with, trailing by 5. Sparks gets it away end over end. Did it cross the plane? Yes. Dukes will have it with Jordan McLeod at their own 20-yard line, and a chance to regain the lead when we come back to Charlottesville. 7 to go, a 5-point game, and here comes Jordan McLeod. The Dukes with a chance to steal one on the road, and they have been impressive since the weather delay. Their last possession right down the field, 80 yards in just 8 plays. Team from the Sun Belt with a carry straight ahead, no gain. Cam Butler stopped Lawton.
Roy, this is a JMU team that's rushed for 108 yards before that carry in the second half. Question is, how much can you go to the run if you're not getting chunk runs during this drive?
2nd and 10. JMU with 2 timeouts. Here's time for McLeod. Has a man open. That'll move the chains, and a nifty move ahead to the 44. Elijah Surratt, we haven't called his name often. He picked up 23 there.
Really nice route by Elijah Surratt on Cohen King to get open, and a good delivery from Jordan McLeod.
2nd catch of the game for 13 and White.
Cohen King just trying to get him to go to the inside, has to flip his hips.
Duke's methodical approach. Lawton ahead to midfield. Stopped at the 49 by James Jackson, who chopped him down quick.
And it was maybe a shoelace that James Jackson was able to grab.
From the 50. On 2nd down, McLeod, pocket collapses, and the pressure got to him. Here's a penalty marker. Jameer Carter got there. And this could be against the Hoos.
Personal foul, illegal hand to the face, defense, number 94, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Falmouy that time, Roddy.
Massive call there. Massive mistake by Virginia. Good call, looks like. Came later. But that last stab got him.
2:06 to go. Dukes with 2 timeouts. And remember, the clock will stop on a first down with under 2 minutes remaining. Kalon Black will bust through. And there is a flag down near the 34. For the time being, a gain of 14.
Holding offense, number 58. 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's Tanner Morris, the starting center.
It's going to move it back. But as you mentioned, Roy, we're now under 2 minutes. Clock's going to stop and remain stopped if you go out of bounds. It's going to stop temporarily for the officials to reset the chains if you get a first down. JMU with 2 timeouts. There's plenty of time to get this drive going, but first and long here.
Holding penalties have been costly in this game for both sides. First down and 20. McLeod bought a little time, flings it incomplete. Into the flats he was trying to go, and the pressure was coming by Stevie Bracey. It'll be second and long. Now Bracey getting more snaps today with Ahern being injured. We've called his name a couple of times, an important sequence there.
And Roy, Reggie Brown not on the field. Got Maxwell Moss, the freshman, Elijah Surratt, the sophomore, as your 2 wideouts, and then Phoenix Sproles in the slot.
6 in the box for the Cavs. McLeod across the middle. Has Sproles. Stopped at the 30. It'll be third down. Tavon Kyle with a tackle. Gain of 15.
It was a beautiful route by Phoenix Sproles. Man-to-man, he and Tavon Kyle just creates that little bit of separation to hook up for his quarterback.
Dukes maintain their timeouts. On third down, Jordan McLeod going long. At the goal line and incomplete, and here come 2 penalty markers. Sanker trying to defend Surratt. And this should result in a first down for JMU.
Pass interference, defense number 20. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Jonas Sanker.
He had excellent coverage, Roy. It's just at the last minute, as the receiver tries to stop, he grabs the breastplate and interferes with Surratt's ability to make the catch while going down. Lost composure at the last minute. It's a tough play for a defender.
Approaching a minute to go. They'll fake it to Black. Roll it out to Sproles. Made one defender miss. Tackled from behind, crossing the 10.
Now you got to take a timeout.
I was going to ask you as well, if you're Virginia, do you start thinking about timeouts as well?
Now that they're inside the 10, they can get a first down. So no, I don't think you consider timeouts. If it were first and goal and you knew there were only a finite number of plays, you knew how many plays were going to be run from there on, then you maybe start to think about it. But the fact that JMU can get a first down, you got to save them in case they do get that first down. And then on the backside, you got to use them.
Well, while we have a moment, let's check out today's best moment, brought to you by AT&T 5G. And we would be remiss if we did not revisit the Mike Hollins touchdowns one more time in the celebration coming off the field with his younger brother Deuce. If you want to feel good about something today, folks, that's what you feel great about. Hats off to Mike Hollins and his road back to Virginia football. Out of the timeout, McLeod in zone and incomplete. Reggie Brown, the intended receiver, was broken up by Cohen King.
What a great play by Cohen King, laying out full extension Reggie Brown created a tiny bit of separation, but the break by Cohen King, tremendous. Now it sets up a 3rd and 5. And Roy, JMU has a timeout. So if you do run the ball or you throw it ahead of the sticks and don't get the first down, you can still call that timeout.
Pre-snap survey by McLeod. Into the flats. Wide open is Kalon Black for the touchdown. And the Duke soar back in front. JMU will go for 2 to try to push this lead back to 3. And how about that play call to Spring Black, who was wide open in the flats? What a game.
It's been tremendous. There's been so many highs and lows. Let's take a look at the last touchdown for James Madison. Every team in the country has this play. Look at Cam Robinson, the freshman linebacker. He's responsible for the back. You're gonna get 2 slants from the outside to try and pick. Cam Robinson just gets caught in no man's land. He hesitates, his eyes aren't in the right place, and you get a wide open back. They are really excited about the true freshman Cam Robinson, but your head is swimming as a true freshman, and sometimes you lose track of the main thing, which in that case, he's got the back. You got to be out there. But James Madison dialing it up at the right time. Kalon Black making the catch and getting in the end zone.
The majority of the JMU fans stayed after the weather delay, and they are being heard loudly, especially after that last touchdown to regain the lead. Black motions out, and that could have been costly. Dave Herrard had a chance to intercept that football and take it the other way, which would have counted for 2 points and given Virginia the lead right back.
Missed opportunity for Virginia. You know, a lot of times as a defender, you're thinking, I got to get there, bat it down. And you don't quite realize how good a shot you have to intercept the football. Had he intercepted it, it's a foot race to the end zone. Goes right through his hands, man. If you're a Virginia Cavalier, what could have been, but you still get the ball back with an opportunity, 2 timeouts, and a freshman quarterback who has shown some real promise here today.
36-35. Wahoos get it back. 55 seconds to go. You mentioned the timeouts. Advantage JMU post-weather delay. We'll see if the Magic Man has some more answers. Anthony Colandrea. Madden sends it deep. And Jones with the grab. They'll move it out to the 25. Now, since the delay, JMU rock solid offensively. Virginia has some questions to answer, but they still have a chance, and a field goal would win it, Roddy.
And Roy, you mentioned the crowd earlier. These JMU fans who traveled, they came back after the weather delay. Not all the Virginia fans did. It feels very 50-50 in this stadium right now. Does that come into play with the freshman quarterback?
Colandrea with Mike Hollins. And Colandrea gonna be sacked. Chroma got home. A loss of 10.
That's a freshman mistake by the freshman quarterback. In that situation, The last thing that he will have heard coming out of the huddle, you can't take a sack. Can't take a sack there. It puts us back behind the chains. You have to use a timeout in that situation. It's good pressure by Jamie. Really good coverage on the back end by JMU. But there's plenty of time there where that clock in your head can go off. You sail it out of bounds over your receiver's head, and you live to fight another day on 2nd and 10.
If you're thinking about a field goal attempt, Will Bettridge, career long is 47 yards. Cavs would have to make it all the way down to the JMU 30 to have a shot. First meeting in 40 years between these two teams. Colandrea. Penalty marker comes in. And the pass ruled incomplete near the line to gain. Washington was in the area. And the holding call would have negated that completion anyway. Fourth time today, UVA's been called for a holding penalty.
Holding, offense, number 51. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Interesting that JMU would decline the penalty. I mean, it's 3rd and 20, so making it 2nd and, what would it be, 27 probably? Probably not worth it.
Duke show pressure. Colandrea has it batted down. It'll be 4th down. James Carpenter.
The big man in the middle pushes the pocket and then bats it down. If you're Virginia here, you almost have to go with, it's either going to be 4 verticals or your Hail Mary play where everybody runs the defensive backs off, and then you get a crosser coming across the middle, but the height by James Carpenter to bat that down, tremendous.
It all comes down to this. 4th and 20. Colandrea's got to get rid of it, and he does. Deep ball with a man open, and it's incomplete. Starling was open. 2 steps behind the last JMU defender. And the Dukes in comeback fashion have found a way this afternoon in Charlottesville.
Tremendous job by JMU. Anthony Colandrea, though, the true freshman, Demeek Starling, just runs right by the defender. He is the speedster. Can't get beat on a double move on 4th and 20. It happens. But the Dukes are bailed out by the overthrow. The freshman just trying to give his receiver a chance. A little too far. What could have been?
What a day. What a game. What a comeback for JMU.
This performance by JMU coming into a Power 5 stadium, dealing with the things that they dealt with on the field today. And there were times where Virginia looked like they had an opportunity to run away with this thing. And the Dukes are able to go on the road and get a win against their home state team, the Virginia Cavaliers.